Hello. Okay. Day one of Circuit Riders just about coming to a close. Or not even really day one. This is just like the pre, I don't know, because we all just arrived. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this. I feel like, I don't know. I kind of just want to talk about like today. I didn't know what to expect like coming into this. I still don't know what to expect, but like God is already like moving in such beautiful ways, and I can tell he's gonna do something big. I just don't know what just yet. But like, I don't know, I kind of want to talk about like hearing from the Lord. I don't know, I feel like it's like something that's very, at least I thought was kind of taboo based on like all the church that I was raised in. Like people wouldn't really give words. And it wasn't until I came to the current church that I'm at now, City Reach, that like I kind of experienced this on a regular basis. It's so beautiful that, you know, the divine King of Kings, creator of the universe, literally speaks to us about, you know, people's situations or what they may be feeling or going through or how he wants to use them, you know, just like what a privilege and what an honor. I don't even today, like I'm on the plane and he sat me next to these people and I'm like, okay, I want to give them a word, you know, I want to speak to them, like use me. It can be so nerve-wracking to do that because it's especially like on a plane, you have to sit next to these people now for the rest of the trip. And if you're wrong or if they like reject you or like okay, you have to sit next to these people for the rest of the trip, right? But I was like, all right, God, like, give me something. He gave me a word and something simple, but just like to tell, like there was a couple, just to tell like the wife, like, oh, you're a mighty warrior for God and to keep walking in boldness in your calling, right? She pulls out a Bible and I'm like, oh, bet, she's a Christian. Obviously that makes it a little easier, you know, like it's harder to do these things with somebody who's a non-believer because they're like, oh, okay, right, God told you that. But as a Christian, it's like, oh, this is easy, bet. Like, you're not gonna look at me crazy unless I'm wrong. She pulled out her Bible and I was like, all right, let me pull out mine. And, you know, she'll see I'm a Christian, you know, she'll get real comfy with me and whatever. So I pull out my Bible, I'm studying, you know, and she taps me, she's like, I was like, hey. And she's like, I'm Esther. I said, ooh, Esther, powerful name. And I introduced myself, I'm BJ. And she was like, can we like just talk about what we're reading, you know, once you finish reading, like, can we talk about it together? And I was like, yeah, of course we can. And, you know, I gave her the word that the Lord had given me for her. And I kept hearing son. See, this is another thing the Lord is teaching me about hearing from him, right? Because I'm hearing son and I'm like, do you have children? She's like, yes. Like, do you have a son? She's like, no. She's like, I have 4 daughters. And I'm like, okay, Lord. Like, why am I hearing son? And she goes on talking to me about her family and stuff like that. But I keep hearing son. Then I hear spiritual son. I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm like, why you ain't say that the first time? Is there someone that's like a spiritual son in your life? And she's like, oh, well, yeah, there is my nephew. And he actually asked me if I could be his spiritual mother. But I was like, I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't want his mom to be disappointed. I'm like, oh, okay, I see her. Like, there it is, Lord, there it is. She was worried that like she would step on the mom's toes. But, you know, I felt like the Lord saying like she can provide what he needs that his mom might not be giving spiritually. She doesn't need to worry about like what, like she's not gonna step on toes. She just needs to be obedient because what she has to impart to him is important, it's valuable, it's what he needs in order to remain on the straight and narrow, right? And she said she just got a word about this too recently. When the Lord sometimes give us a word or a phrase, oftentimes it doesn't have to make sense. Most of the time it doesn't have to make sense. Like especially when you don't know the person, like sometimes it can be something so obscure, but it'll make sense to them. Or sometimes you have to ask questions or, you know, just say it and see where that leads, you know, let the Holy Spirit do the rest. The divine encounters is just so beautiful. Like the way God orchestrates and sets up everything. What are the odds that I happen to sit next to believers on a plane and not only can I give them a word, but she gives me a word pertaining to this trip that I'm going to be on. She said, God has something special for you. God has something special for you. You know, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but I feel it. I definitely feel it. It just goes to show how much God truly loves and cares for his children, and the ways that he so intricately guides us in all that we do. Every single step we take, he's there. He's like, okay, boom, I got you. You need a little encouragement? Boom, I got you. You need a little, course correction? Boom, I got you. He's always working. He's always working on behalf. I mean, the word says he never sleeps. His thoughts towards us outnumber the grains of sand. He knows the number of hairs on our head. Like, even getting to the airport and then meeting the other people in my group, like off the bat, the word is giving me a Lord for this girl. She's like, a Lord literally spoke to me about that on the plane. It's like the God is so quick to confirm, to reassure, to reaffirm you. Like he's not a God of confusion. He's so clear. He's so clear. It's just a still small voice that's there. I feel like one problem that I would have and get caught up with is like I would seek words for people, and I would always feel like I needed to hear this whole drawn out prophecy book thing that I need to give them, and like I would be wrong because I'm like making up my own thing, right? Oftentimes the Lord just gives us a phrase or a word, and then like more comes, but like he has to trust us with a little. It's just like, can God trust you with that one word? Are you going to be obedient with that one word, that one phrase he gave you? Or are you going to be like, no, that's not, I can't go off of that. It's nothing. That's nothing. To meet these other students and to like hear their hearts for the Lord, to see their passion for the Lord. I mean, like I walk into the living space and everybody's just praying over each other, giving words to each other, speaking the visions. My phone ran out of storage, so let's try this again. But just like, yeah, the visions that they were speaking over everyone, just without hesitation. Like it's so beautiful just to see so many young people like really on fire and passionate for God. Like it's crazy. And, I think honestly, just to sum it up, like to my young folks out there who love the Lord, you feel me? 1 Timothy 4:12, it says, let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do this just because you're young or because you're new to the faith, whatever it may be. Like God has given you a voice. God has given you a powerful voice that he wants to use. God has given you gifts and talents that he wants to use. So step out in faith, step out in boldness, walk in your calling, and just trust the Lord is going to finish that work that he started in you. And that he's going to accomplish it, and that he loves you, he's called you, he's chosen you. I'm just excited to see all that God's gonna do. So that concludes day one. I'm excited to see what the Lord's gonna do over this next week. All right, love y'all.